class. Welcome to Baba O's Drum House, your world music class brought right to your home. I'm your instructor, Baba O. Last time we were together, we learned what percussion instruments are and how to identify them.
Percussion instruments are any instruments that you play by striking, shaking, or scraping.
But there are many other families of instruments, so let's get into it. To start, we can break the instruments up into 4 families. Each family is categorized by the way the instruments produces sound. This classification gives us the string family. This includes instruments such as the harp, the banjo, the violin, the viola, the cello, the double bass, and the electric guitar. The woodwind family. This includes instruments such as the flute, the piccolo, the clarinet, the saxophone, the bassoon, and others. The brass family, which includes instruments such as the French horn, the trumpet, the tuba, the slide trombone, and others. And the percussion family. In an orchestra, musicians sit together in these family groupings, but not every instrument fits neatly into these groups. For example, the piano has strings in it that vibrates and little mallets that strike those strings. That's why, although the piano has strings inside of it, like a harp or a guitar, it is still a part of the percussion family. Do you know another musical instrument that seems like it could be part of one family of instruments, but is really a part of another? That's right, the berimbau.
What is a berimbau?
Great question. I'm on my way to Baba's kitchen right now to see my good friend, Baba Yao. Let's see if he could tell us more about what a berimbau is.
Peace. This is a berimbau.
The berimbau is a single-string percussion instrument from Brazil.
Brazil?
Yes, Brazil, a country in South America. Berimbau is a single string instrument because it has one string, but it is a part of the percussion family because you play it with a stick by hitting the string. Now, the berimbau is from Brazil, but its origins trace back thousands of years to the San people of Southern Africa and the Bantu-speaking people of Central Africa. The berimbau eventually made its way to Brazil and became incorporated in the Afro-Brazilian martial art called capoeira. In capoeira, the berimbau leads the fighter's movements. The faster the berimbau plays, the faster the players move. The berimbau has 4 parts. It is made of a wooden bow called verga, made from Berimbau wood, which is found in Brazil. A steel string, lightly strung, actually very tightly strung, and sealed from one end of the verga to the other. 3. A gourd that's dried, open, and hollowed out, and is usually attached to the lower part of the verga. It's used as a resonator to help bring out the sound. And the stick, it's played like this.
Wow, that was great. Now that we know what a berimbau is, where it's from, how it's made, and how it's played, let's see if we can make one ourselves. We're going to go around our neighborhood and our house and see if we can find items to make our own homemade berimbau. All right, let's get started. So I have this piece of wood that I'm going to use for our bow. I have this wooden stick, right, that we're going to use to play the berimbau. We don't have metal wire, right? The rope, the string that's used on the berimbau is a metal wire. We're going to use this string that we have here. Or I also found some fishing wire. You can use that if you want. And even more accessible, we have rubber bands. If you have any rubber bands, you can use that. Just make sure that the rubber band is long enough and strong enough that it can stretch the distance of your bow. All right, or make sure you have more than one. I have this can as well. Don't forget your can. That's going to be your resonator, right? It acts as the gourd. So let's get started. So I have my bow. I'm going to use the rubber band since I have lots of twine. All right. So first thing you might notice, I split the top of my bow a little bit. You might be able to see it. I put a little slit in there, and I tied a knot. I'm going to tie a knot in the end of my rubber band, all the way at the end, because I only have one rubber band. So I'm gonna slide my rubber band into one end of the split. Feel like a hunter making a bow and arrow. I'm a little afraid. All right, as you see here, I'm fastening my rubber band to the end of my bow. Now we want to make sure that the rubber band is nice and tight. The rubber band or string, whatever you use as the string of your bow. Oh, wow. So that was too tight. My Berimbau broke in half. No worries. I'm gonna have to make a small Berimbau. The Berimbau just got a little bit shorter. Now we're gonna use the fishing wire instead of the rubber band. I had one rubber band, but it broke. So make sure your stick is strong enough as well. Still, we want to make sure we have a nice amount of tension in the bow. And we want to make sure that it's tied to the end of each end of the bow very, very tightly. You don't want it to slip off. You don't want it to slide. If you need help, ask for help, especially on this part. Don't do this. Next, we're gonna add our can. So our can is taking the place of our gourd. And as we know, it's gonna act as the resonator. When the stick hits the string of the Berimbau, the vibration of the string travels down the instrument into the can, resonating, projecting sound. So what I did is I stuck the piece of string through the bottom of the can, pulled it out through the top and tied a knot in it, then pulled it back through, took my scissor to clip the other end and tied the open end around the bow. So the back of the stick, the back of the bow, it will go to the back of the can, and the string that we use to hold the can onto the bow will wrap all the way around the bow and the string. All the way around the bow and the string of the bow. This part was a little tricky. If you need somebody to give you a hand, don't be afraid to ask. Yeah, it's coming together. This part was a little tricky, but finally got it. And here we go. All right, let's see what it sounds like. So we can hear how the can is actually resonating the sound as the vibration comes from the string. Now you try it. So I hope you enjoyed making your Berimbau. If you have any questions about the assignment or just music related questions that you'd like Baba O to answer, leave a comment below and I'll get back to you. See you next time. Have fun.
Baba O. Baba O. Baba O.
Yes.